Hi everyone, Kevin the Geeky Gamer here, and today I want to talk about my review of Dragon Ball Xenoverse Two for people who don't know how to speak Spanish. Anyways, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 is the second game of the Dragon Ball Xenoverse franchise. It came out in October 22nd of 2016. I bought the collector's edition. This is the steelbook case. I do have the 14-inch statue that is at home. Anyways, let's talk about the game. Where does this take place in the Dragon Ball timeline? This takes place from the beginning of Dragon Ball all the way to Resurrection F. That's it. So there is no Dragon Ball Super in this at all, which is good for me because I have not seen that show. I'm waiting for the English dub because I hate the Japanese voice acting. Now, Dragon Ball Xenoverse. What has changed? Not much, honestly. But honestly, is this game better than the first one? In a lot of ways, yes. It's a lot better than the first one, even though the content hasn't really changed. But the progression is awesome now. And if you've seen my video of the first Xenoverse, I would tell you that it was a grind. It was a super grind to level up your characters. You had to do the same missions over, the same parallel missions. Some story missions you couldn't beat unless you were a certain level or leveled up. This game, the progression of leveling up from 1 to 80 is so smooth. Way smoother. Because there's so many quests you can do now outside of the regular parallel quests and outside the regular main storyline quests. Now you have other activities that you can do. You can help the Guru out in the Namekian world. You can help out with little quests that Frieza has for you. You can go develop Majin Buu's children. I'll get into that. And you can also go to Capsule Corp and train with Vegeta. And you can also go help Hercule. Even though you're really not helping Hercule, you're pretty much just doing Saiyaman missions with Gohan and Videl and Jaco from the Resurrection F. Jaco is the... No, Jaco or Jaco? Well, I forgot. But he's that little alien, the little space patroller that helps them fight during Resurrection F. I still even said it wrong even after that. Whatever. Frieza Saga. But anyways. So the leveling in this game has improved a lot, where it doesn't no longer feel like a grind or a slog to get through certain level brackets. Because I remember before, leveling between 1 to 20 was okay, but then from 20 to 60 was like super like grindy. Like you had to do pretty much the same things over and over and over and over. But in this one, you have so many quests, you can do multiple things while doing in between story missions. They just pretty much made it in a way that you can level up with a much smoother experience and it won't bore you. Now, the story missions. The story missions are pretty much almost the same, except they added even more characters. Now you see even characters and villains from the movies. You'll have Lord Slug, you have Turles, the Goku-looking guy that's black and then eats a fruit and makes himself stronger. Never seen that movie, have no idea where he's from. Actually, I don't even know who Lord Slug is from either. I've never seen any of the movie Dragon Ball Z villains. But anyways, you do have Cooler, Frieza's older brother, and Metal Cooler that he becomes after at some point. I'm sorry, my Dragon Ball Z movie knowledge pretty much is limited to Battle of the Gods and Resurrection F. Hey, I said it right.
There you go.
But anyways.
You seen one though. You seen one, Brawly.
I have not seen Brawly either.
Oh my god. That's the one everybody's seen.
I know, that's the one everyone... I've seen the ending. I've seen on YouTube how he kills him. He punches him really hard in the chest. Anyways. But yeah.
Street Fighter reference.
Street Fighter reference. He does Hadouken. Wait, no. Shoryuken. Anyways. Okay, so the story leads from that to that. Mira and Toa, the two main antagonists of the first game, come back. And pretty much though, she does the same thing. Script time. All the battle energy that she collects. If you're familiar with the Majin Buu saga, when they steal all Gohan's energy and put that in Majin Buu's little egg in order to revive him, she kind of does something similar where she collects pretty much the entire time that she's been fucking with you. She's been collecting all that energy and data and then putting it in Mira, which is her right hand man, the same guy that you fought in the first game. Obviously, you didn't kill any of those two characters in the first one, so they come back again. But this time, there is a twist towards the end. If you want to skip ahead at least a minute, I'm going to go into a quick spoiler because not that much. Right after you do the Resurrection F stuff, when you fight Frieza in the golden form and all that stuff, and then Super Saiyan God Goku helps you out and Vegeta. She comes back. She was using Goku's dad, Bardock, as a villain. He had a mask, but you could so fucking tell it was Bardock. He just had a mask. Everything else was the same. So it was really funny that they couldn't figure out who that guy was. Who's that mysterious Saiyan? It's fucking Bardock. His clothes didn't even change. He's just wearing a mask. Anyways.
Sailor Moon.
Oh my god, I hate Sailor Moon because of that. Anyways. Okay, so he's wearing a mask. Bardock takes down Mira to like a shadow realm because she, Toa, the sorceress girl, she was trying to trap your main characters in that world. Mira gets defeated by Bardock. Bardock goes to Super Saiyan 3 in this storyline of it, and he beats Mira Mira finds out what he's been lacking the entire time, because the entire time he thinks he needs more power, more energy, more research, right? He just pretty much needs a fighting spirit, and that's what he gets. And then he combines with his master, Toa, because Toa created Mira, and he absorbs her, and then he goes into his own... If any of you have seen Final Fantasy 9, and Kuja is the main antagonist in that game, and Kuja transforms later on into kind of like this furry chest villain that floats in the air, he looks almost like that. Where because Mira's upper half suddenly turns all furry, kind of like if it was a nod to Dragon Ball GT. And yeah, and then that's the final boss, and you beat him, with Super Saiyan Goku. Super Saiyan God Goku, the blue hair one. And yeah, so okay, that's the end of the spoilers. And so that's the story. Now what else is new? They added raid missions. Now you have missions that you can do with at least 8 more people. I have not tried those because they are only open in the mornings on Saturdays and Sundays. I don't want to wake up that early, and that's pretty much the main complaint that a lot of people have, that why is it limited to a specific time every week? People can't make that time, people have to work, whatever, you know, different reasons, and they wish they could use them, do them in those. But pretty much the way that raid missions work is you'll fight like giant ape Vegeta, right, his ape form, and he'll like do an attack that pushes everyone, all 8 people, into different zones of the map, right? And then you have to beat your like shadow form and then get back, and then everyone comes back, and then you have to keep beating it. And the final reward, like for beating the raids, is more clothes, more items, stuff like that. But it's only given to the person who lands the final hit. So only one out of the 8 people get the actual rewards for doing that whole raid. That takes about, from what I heard, half an hour, depending on how powerful the team is.
Ooh.
Yeah, that is like really bad. I kind of like, I could see the people's frustration. I haven't done it, obviously, but that just sounds really bad. And sometimes the bosses are outside the stages, which breaks the game, and they have to restart the raid.
Right.
I'm not making this up, people. I'm sorry, but Namco Bandai, I don't know what you're doing in Japan, but you guys need to step the fuck up. Anyways, they also added expert missions. Expert missions are just pretty much like almost like mini raids, but just for single player characters. You can do it by yourself or with friends. It's highly recommended you do it with friends because the AI they give you are just so stupid. Like your teammates are just so dumb. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. And they added training modes. They added way more mentors. The way that mentoring worked in the first game was you out of like maybe 10 mentors, you would learn their abilities, and then once you've mastered their mentorship levels or increase their friendship bar, whenever you use one of their abilities, they will come out and help you. So let's say you learn Vegeta's Final Flash move. If you use that Final Flash move in game, sometimes he'll do a Z assist and do it with you. He'll come out and do even more damage with you. Now, from what I understand, even though the Majin females on the race, the same races apply as in the first game, so I'm not going to go over that. If you want to know about the races, look at the first one. I'll just mention what they got added in this game. But anyways, the female Majin Boos that they can create literally say that they get more Z assists. Z assists are what I told you from the first game. They come out when you do their special move, and they pump up your move and do more damage. Apparently, there is no Z assists in the second version, and they forgot to take that out of the description. So yeah. It's almost, a lot of people said that they pretty much just copy and pasted a lot of the same information, so they didn't even change it. In a lot of ways, they did such a bad job with this game, but in a lot of ways, they improved it so much. Like, it is way more enjoyable. It is way more on par to... Like, if I were to recommend someone to do the first one or the second one, definitely get the second one. It's pretty much almost the same. The leveling is a lot more satisfying, and everyone has a transformation now. Now, let me get into that part of each race. Each of the same races, Frieza, the female male Boos, female and male Saiyans, female and male humans, and the Namekians, they each got special transformations. Namekians can turn giant. They turn into giant characters and do a lot of damage. I guess one of the movies they turned giant. I'm not sure. Or was that in the original Dragon Ball when Goku fought Piccolo when he was a kid? I don't remember, honestly, but they can turn giant. Majin Boos can turn into Kid Buu, but it is the worst transformation in the game because it overrides your stats and you get only to use specific moves for his. So it pretty much just completely destroys the whole reason to even go Majin Buu. But there is a neutral transformation for all the races, and that's Unlocked Potential. Unlocked Potential is the ability that the old Supreme Kai does on Gohan, and unlocks all his sleeping powers, his awakened power. So that's a base power transformation for all the races is unlocked potential and Kaioken. Kaioken, every race can do Kaioken. Super Saiyans Saiyans can go Super Saiyan, and now they've let you go up to Super Saiyan 3. When before it only let you up to Super Saiyan 2. And Super Vegeta and Super Vegeta 2 are also still in the game. Humans get Power Pole mode, where they start attacking with the Power Pole. You know, that little pole that Goku would use when he was younger? Yeah, that thing. It does more damage and it gives them more reach. It's kind of lame that humans get the shitty end of the stick, in my opinion, but that's kind of how Dragon Ball went after a while, because after a while it was mostly about aliens, and all the humans were just really weak characters. Like Krillin never got up there, Yamcha's just a joke, things like that. Videl played a major part in the story, but she wasn't a strong character either. I mean, if you like humans, more power to you. But I just don't think humans never really got any good treatment in Dragon Ball. Maybe they did in Dragon Ball Super. I have not seen it. I'll let you know after I watch it. But that covers all the transformations. The way they do transformations this time around, though, is different because now you can equip the ability. It just says Super Saiyan. In order to go Super Saiyan 1, 2, or 3, you need at least 3 bars of ki to go Super Saiyan 1. 4 bars of ki to get Super Saiyan 2, and if you have at least 5 bars of ki when you activate the ability, then you turn Super Saiyan 3. So, and it's the same for Kaioken. Kaioken has 3 modes: Kaioken regular, Kaioken times 5, and Kaioken times 20. And it also correlates to 3 bars of stamina, 4 bars of stamina, or 5 bars of stamina. Majin Buu's, they need at least 3 bars of stamina to go into their purification mode. That's what it's called when they go into Kid Buu. Power Pole humans, I'm not sure how their transformation work, but I'm assuming everyone's working the same way, because Super Vegeta, which is like the ki based version of a Super Saiyan, you just need 3 to 4 bars. So 3 bars for Super Vegeta 1 and then 4 bars for Super Vegeta 2. Namekians, I think, also need about a certain bars of stamina to turn into giant form. And Frieza, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, the Frieza race has a new transformation, the one for Resurrection F. So not all Frieza players and characters can turn into golden form. Is it overpowered more than Super Saiyan 3? No, obviously all of them are balanced. They're all balanced to be as powerful as each other, even though that makes no sense in the actual anime, because golden form would kick the ass of Super Saiyan 3, and obviously no human would be able to fight with any of these people at all anyways. But anyways, who cares?
Yeah, they can. They got the power pole.
They have human fighting spirit. Anyways,
power pole.
And power pole. Anyways, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, obviously the balance is for the game, and it's not really for the story, but that's it. Parallel quests are the same. There's up to 100 parallel quests in this game. Little mini side events you can do. You can collect food. You can QQ Banks. QQ Banks is a new feature that they added. Before, items, certain clothes you wore actually gave you boosts in your stats and retracted. So let's say you wore pants that give you 5+ more attack, 5 arrows more of attack, but let's say 5 minus arrows of ki. So that means you would strengthen your basic attacks but lower your ki damage. Things like that. Now they embedded QQ Banks where by mixing recipes and fusing them together, you can just put the stats on your clothes, but you can look however you want. Which is one of the main complaints of Xenoverse 1. People wanted to mix and match clothing and have their own style, but that made them weaker because the weaker clothing, couldn't keep up with obviously the higher level clothing, and the higher level clothing would sometimes look bad, or people didn't prefer it. But now you can adjust your stats accordingly, and you don't have to worry how it's gonna make you look anymore. Now you can look however you want, and you can still have those same stats that you wanted. And it has multiplayer. I have not tried that. And this, for me, has never been a multiplayer game. I mean, I'll do it with the co-op parts of the raiding and the expert missions, but the actual multiplayer fighting against each other, I never liked it. And why? Like, it's not a fighting game to me. This is more like an RPG, in my opinion, with the light fighting game aspects to it. But yeah, it's at 60 frames per second, and the resolution is way higher. The graphics you can tell the graphics are way better. Now, there's a tip that I need to give you. Raise the light in the options, please, because if you go into options and raise the brightness of the game, it actually makes all the colors crisp. Because before that, it looked like you were looking at the game through sunglasses, right? And then when you raise the brightness, it actually makes the textures better and colorful. I don't think they understand what raising the brightness means in Japan, or I don't know what is wrong there. But the point is, you gotta raise that brightness. I think a lot of people are playing with this game and they don't know that raising the brightness actually makes the game more colorful and more beautiful and with better textures. I don't know how that got through QA and all that stuff. I just don't know. It's just really weird. But would I recommend this game? I highly recommend it if you're a Dragon Ball Z fan. Definitely get this one over Xenoverse 1. This is way more well put together, even though it has problems. It has problems, but it's not problems that they couldn't fix with patches. And they've said they're going to fix some of the problems with patches, because obviously no one's going to buy their DLC if they don't address some of these issues. So yeah, that is my review of Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. I highly recommend it. All the races are more balanced this time around, except for Majin Buu. I feel like they got the shitty end of the stick, because Kid Buu, even though it is cool to see it, it's super weak compared to all the other transformations. Just use unlocked potential. Raise your brightness, do all the stories, take your time with it. You don't have to rush through it anymore. The leveling up progression is so much smoother, it's more satisfying, and you don't have to really worry about it. Like, you'll just naturally level up as you play the game, when before you had to specifically do certain things and certain quests that give you the most experience and grind it that way to level up. So yeah, get this game, let me know what you think, and geek out.